Hey there, this is Alan Brocken. Now that my kids are grown up, they say I'm the cool dad everybody talks about. But if you're like me, dads, even if you're super fun and awesome, that doesn't happen every day. When they were younger, I can say that there were many days when I didn't even have a word left for them. Work was hard, life was hard, and it's just tough. And so now that they're out of the house, I've got some more time on my hands. So here's my daily dad word just for you to give you a hand getting your brain out of work mode and into family mode. So make sure you take out your handy notebook. And what we're going to do is as we go along in the show, we'll take some time to jot some things down that are top of mind in your work brain so we can free up some head space for your family. So let's get started with today's dad word. Our dad word today is going to be bow. As in like bow and arrow, as in archery. We're going to be talking about bows. And it's going to be kind of different. I'm going to have kind of a lot of fun with this show today, I think. And we may just have archery bow related dad joke or two. But I got to remind you guys, as a parent, one thing that's really important, like they tell you on the airplane, is you have to put your oxygen mask on before helping others. And actually, if you're going to pull a bow, you kind of have to breathe properly. So I want to everybody, I want you to just take a minute, and I want you to take deep breath. I want you to take a deep breath in through your mouth, out through your nose, in through your mouth, out through your nose. And I want you to keep doing that. And the deep breathing is going to help clear out bad chemicals in your brain. That'll free up some even more headspace for your family. So you just keep breathing, and I'm going to take a minute while you're doing that to make sure that we're keeping God's word top of mind and part of that headspace with our family. This week's memory verse is Romans 3:23, and it says, "For all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God." Romans 3:23. So our verse again is, "For all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God." Romans 3:23. And I think that goes with our bow theme today, because actually the word sin is like to miss the mark. Like an archer might miss the mark. And so I think that goes with our theme of bow. But I got to ask, when it comes to doing what we're doing right now, are you still breathing? Take a deep breath in through your mouth, out through your nose. Do that a couple more times. Keep breathing. And while you're doing that, you might want to look down at your notepad and start hanging up stuff from your day, right? If you need to pause for a minute to write a reminder to yourself so you can focus on that. But we're trying to clear up the headspace and be ready to go spend time with the family. Well, now that you're back from that and you're ready to go, let's talk about today's great word, who is from the historian Mark Bloch in 1954. And he says, "Misunderstanding of the present is the inevitable consequence of ignorance of the past." So, have you ever suddenly realized you're completely clueless about something because you just didn't know the backstory? Like, as I think about this whole quote, right, about basically misunderstanding what's going on is just not knowing what happened before. I gotta say, there's all kinds of ways to look at this, like macro version versus micro. I mean, we've got this macro level thing about how empires fall and societies, change over time and things like that. But what about in the here and now? Have you ever fallen short, missed the mark for not getting the backstory on something? There have been many times when I walked in the house and there's some kind of drama, and I just start dropping solutions that seem reasonable, only to have things end very poorly because I only knew half the story. This week we're talking about not missing the mark, and when I was learning to be an archery instructor, one of the most important lessons they taught us was you always had to inspect what was behind the target. We had to know that if the arrow kept going, what was it going to hit on the other side, right? Make sure there's nothing important behind that target. We just had to know because it was super important for everyone's safety. And that's where I feel like this quote about knowing what went before is kind of like looking behind things, looking behind to make sure that there's nothing there. Failure to understand what's behind in the situation can often lead to missing the mark when it comes to the outcome you're looking for. Nothing worse than shooting a perfect bullseye, only have the arrow keep going and take out a car in the parking lot, right? How about you? Is there something maybe you need to get a little more backstory on before you start solving the problem or start helping out? You want to talk that out with some guys? Join us on our Facebook group, the Daily Dad Word Discussions group. You'll see the link in the description. Are you still breathing? Keep doing that. I hope you are. If you need a minute now that we kind of jogged your mind about maybe something you need to go research, take a minute, note that down so we're clearing out the headspace, making room for the family. But if you're ready, I'm going to go on with today's good word that's from Linden, Michigan, where Addison Goss decided to make a difference. After learning that her grandfather was homeless for several years, 10-year-old Addison Goss began the Snuggle Snacks campaign with the help of her brother Jackson and her sister Sheridan. Their Snuggle Snacks have many essential items such as toiletries, snacks, blankets, and hand and foot warmers for women and children. Over 17 have been given out through Fenton, Michigan's homeless shelters. You can learn more about Addison Goss's story at the link in the description. Do you know an inspiring kid? Somebody that's gone above and beyond and really helped out others? Or maybe they just invented something amazing. Well, tell us about it. Go out to dailydadword.com/dailydadword and contact us and let us know. And we'll feature them and their charity on the show. Are you still breathing? So, if my breathing exercises weren't enough today, how about we try some bow jokes? Did you hear about the time Orion's bow broke during an archery competition? Yeah, he only won the constellation prize. Get- Okay, never mind. All right, so let's try this one. My wife asked how I got invited to the archery championship ball. I told her I had to pull a few strings. No, no, okay, not funny. Oh, that's all right. Well, it's your turn. Why don't you come up with a bow related funny pun, story, maybe anecdote? Maybe there's something with your parents. Maybe you and your dad went bow hunting one time and it's a good story. But put that top of mind now that we've cleared out some headspace and share that with the family. So thank you for tuning into the Daily Dad Word. If you're looking for some inspiration for your family time, check us out at dailydadword.com/dailydadword. There's a link in the bio. I'm working on putting up some cool dad projects to do with your kids. You should start to see those show up here in the next couple of weeks. I also just have a number of resources to plant a seed for a lifetime relationship with your family, including a link to the Daily Dad Words discussion Facebook group. If you found this focus time useful, click like and subscribe to be notified about the next day's show. But right now, I want to encourage you, take another 5-10 minutes with your handy notebook. Make sure you've emptied out as many of the troubles from work and other things out of your headspace so you can engage your family successfully. See you later.